Remember last time when I said I didn't have a life? Girl, like, how many shows and movies do you watch? Well, actually, I watch quite a lot because I don't have a life. You'd be surprised to know that I still don't have a life. I still don't have a life. And here's why. Well, there is no particular reason why. I just love watching movies, bro. I really do. Hey y'all, hi people, welcome back to another video, another Netflix recommendations. You can never get sick or tired of the amount of shows and movies that I am going to be suggesting for y'all. Well, in this video though, it's only going to be shows, like the most recent shows that I've watched in the past couple of months. If you've watched Stranger, there's another Netflix show that's based out in the UK, but the same director and screenwriter of Stranger also wrote Stay Close. Stay Close is about a woman named Megan. She used to be Cassie in her past life. Throughout the show, you'll definitely see flashbacks of her being Cassie in her old life before she became Megan. What I will say without giving away too much, because I try not to give away too much when I do these videos, but it's also like hard not to say what it's about without not saying what it is about. It's a mysterious thriller type show. I really like it because the way they start off the episodes with like the disappearance of this one guy and then the murder of another guy. Both of the murders are intertwined together, and each different character that were involved in separate murders like somehow are all related. Someone finds out who Megan is, and the mystery of all of these events basically start off with the disappearance of this kid, or he's not even a kid, I forgot his name, but he's a character that dies within like the first episode or the second episode, and then it also just happens to be the anniversary of the disappearance of this man named Stuart. So watch it. The next show I'm going to talk about is Dear White People. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say anyway, season 4 absolutely sucked ass, okay? I don't know what they were thinking when whoever decided to come up with the idea of making the whole season a musical. It profiles the lives of different Black American students at Winchester University, which is an Ivy League, and it depicts the true stories or like representations of what it is to be like at a private white institution, being around, you know, a bunch of white privilege, being overshadowed by your classmates as a Black American student, the loops and holes that people have to jump through to like be involved in their student org, speak out against inequality within like their friend groups and stuff. And I can relate to this because I went to a PWI Minnesota, but my alma mater wasn't even an Ivy League. So this next series is called True Story with Kevin Hart and, oh, what's his name, like Wesley Snipes, the guy that played Blade. At first, when I saw the preview of this series, I didn't take it too seriously because I've never seen Kevin Hart in something serious without being funny. It's so ironic that this show is about a big high-time $110 million comedian who is very successful. He has this brother that comes back into his life who constantly asks him for money and uses him for his success. Kevin Hart's character in the show is called Kid. The aspects of his character are pretty much around his like life in general, like his true life. Like, he's divorced, he's from Philly, he has 2 kids in the show. It shows a little bit of his relationship with his ex-wife, which is also just like in real life. So that is implied in this show. One night they go out, some unexpected things happen. Don't quote me on this, but I think he's a recovering alcoholic because he was trying not to drink and he didn't want to do any drugs, but then he ended up being influenced and some things happen. What I will say is that the huge twist in this entire series is that there's a murder. Somebody dies. Or actually there's 2. Oh no, there's 4. Kid's brother is involved, and the way he is involved is just so dirty. It makes you question like who you should really trust, who you should really want to be around when you're partying, and just family members in general, how they exploit people. Oh my goodness. The show is good. The next show I'm going to talk about is Colin in Black and White. If you don't know who Colin Kaepernick is, he is known for kneeling during the national anthem. That was back in like what, 2016? Was that really that long ago? It feels like it was yesterday. So this show gives people a perspective of how like Colin was raised and struggled with himself internally and externally as a biracial boy turning into a grown man. Pretty sure his mom was white, his birth father was African American, but he was placed for adoption, raised by Rick and Teresa. It shows the challenges of him being in school and learning about his own culture while not being too educated on it by the people that are raising him. Let me just tell y'all, the most hated character on this show, in my opinion, is Wendy. I do not like this woman. Wendy is Marty's wife. Marty is this financial advisor. Him and his partner got caught up in some tidy mess. mostly because of his partner. You see it in the first episode, but basically Marty got himself into a lot of trouble with like the cartel and like bigger drug lords, so he had to pay them money back for what his partner did. He moves his family from Chicago to Missouri, and it's like this place called like the Ozarks or whatever. It's like a very touristy place in the summer. It involves a lot of money laundering, drug cartels. I'm really trying not to get too excited when I talk about this, but if you love serial killers, true crime, docu-series based on America's Most Wanted, notorious killers out there, this show is for you. Catching Killers. I'm so sad that it was only like a couple of episodes long and every episode was like 30 something minutes, but they are coming out with another season. Season 2 is going to be released within the next 2 weeks or so. Best believe I'm going to be binge watching that. So this show is about America's like most notorious serial killers and how the FBI basically tracked them down and did investigations to find them. The 3 cases that they touch based on in the show are the Green River Killer, the Eileen Wuornos case, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the Happy Face Killer. The Green River Killer, oh my goodness, this man killed 50 prostitutes, bro. And he buried them in like wooden areas, kind of similar to what Ted Bundy did. And then Eileen Wuornos was a prostitute who killed like 7 of the men that she slept with. She basically claimed self-defense in each and every one of her cases, that like the guys that she was with would always like try to take advantage of her, and that was her reason for killing him. And then the damn Happy Face Killer, he strangled and killed a bunch of women and then bragged about it. In relation to serial killers, don't fuck with cats. Now, if you like cats, don't watch this. Obviously, it's very sensitive to the eye. Viewers' discretion advised. It profiles the life of the serial killer Rocco Luca Magnotta. This man basically was inspired by the movie Basic Instinct. I forgot the character's name in that movie, but he was so inspired by like that movie, another like a couple of other like serial killers, like the guy in Psycho, on how he murdered people. And let me just say, he was smart as hell in some of his tactics, and when he got caught, he played it so smooth. He played the mental card, and I had to do air quotes because I don't know the actual terminology for it, but it's basically whenever there's an investigation or charges, or when someone is about to be convicted of a murder, they go through the steps of how to like diagnose or assess the case. And basically he was just saying that he was mentally unstable when he committed these murders, but they eventually find out that it was all planned and executed based on like, oh, it's just so good. His mom though is definitely insane, because when they interview this woman, they tell her about the things that he's done. She's like, well, that's my son, and I'm gonna stick beside him. Yes, I do have favorite serial killers. Do not come at me. It's for research purposes only. The last show would be Mary Ann. It's basically about this author named Emma who wrote this book. And there's a woman that comes to her book signing just talking about how much like the character in the book, like Mary Ann, has influenced like her mom's life. But Emma is telling her that it can't be real because she made it up, you know, for entertainment purposes. It involves like demons in a way, because people do get possessed in this show. Some more shit goes down, and then she goes back to her hometown to like find answers and stuff, and just so it's strange. Like, she hadn't been home in a really long time, and people didn't want her back for whatever reason. You'll find out when you watch the show, but it is really good. It's pretty scary, to be honest. Those are all the series that I'm going to recommend to you for now, because best believe I'm gonna be watching some more tomorrow. Like, I am going to be watching Archives 81 and Ratched. I need to like get into that. That's been on my list for so long, but maybe I'll get a life tomorrow, maybe the week after that, maybe next year, who knows. But please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, because you're obviously here for a reason. I will see y'all in my next video.
And I don't really want to talk right now. You love playing games.